Who and what inspires me? I am inspired by nature and my surroundings. I often find myself taking inspiration from natural and organic forms as well as everyday objects. Material. Each material presents its own properties, pros and cons, texture, look, feel, and so on. This can be very stimulating and inspiring. The work of other and popular trends. In this world of digitalization, I am constantly exposed to the artwork created by other, their distinct style as well as the popular trends, and I draw inspiration from them. Traveling exposes us to new landscape, weathers, temperatures, culture, people and languages. Observing all this can allow us to gain a new perspective about things. What are my strengths? Quite simply, I'm not afraid of starting over again. I am always willing to redo, and I redo a lot actually. I have a positive attitude when it comes to starting over, and I regard that as my greatest strength. What is my creative process? Firstly, I start by taking inspiration. Then I assess how I can turn my inspiration or vague idea into something that serves my purpose. I then decide how to make it and identify the material I would need for the same and how to procure it. I organize my work by dividing it according to the time and steps, and I also make sure I have enough time to accommodate any changes along the way and then execute it. I make sure that I make changes and improvements along the way, and finally I prepare myself to do it all over again. Qualities that are essential for creative works. Firstly, don't get too emotionally invested in an idea as it makes it difficult to leave that idea behind and start over. Organize your work to accommodate failures because you will have them along the way. Always have backup plans and just try. Don't self reject work before even attempting them. I'm still in the process of developing a visual and design language that is unique to me. However, there are certain things that are common throughout all my work. The first one being that I tend to use a very neutral color palette. I also have a very childish or comic-y style in terms of my drawing. Being a visual learner, I use a lot of mind maps. However, I use keywords rather than images in my mind maps, and I lack a general sense of composition. Three works that I'm proud of. So the first one is the flower painting that I made during FVL. I have always been the kind who is very afraid when it came to adding colors and using water-based medium. So this was like a major challenge for me, and I was like super happy when I was able to complete it successfully. The second has to be the illustrated vector map. Once again, I was always doubtful of my ability to express myself via digital artwork. And initially, I was like very intimidated by CAD. So this map was like a symbol of victory for me. And finally, my rejected work for Transform. Even though this form did not make it into the final cut, I'm proud that I at least tried and gave it my 100%. And when the time came, I was willing to let go and start over. During the course of foundation, I made discoveries both about the field of design and myself. Related to design, I was able to understand that drawing is not design. I remember feeling intimidated due to my poor drawing ability, thinking that they might hamper my progress as a designer. However, I was proven wrong. I was also able to understand that aesthetics is not design but only a part of design. So they were like major revelations for me. I was also able to understand myself and my way of working better. So over the year, I realized that I work best under pressure. My areas of interest within the realm of design are very vast. So I enjoy working digitally, but I also enjoy working with material and creating physical objects that I can touch and feel. At the same time, I also enjoy research related work, particularly when it's related to history. So, the three words that define me as a person would be hardworking, organized, and pessimistic. So, I remember somewhere around in the December of 2019, I came to the IID campus to give my entrance. And after the studio test, one of the faculties asked me, "Tell me one thing that was bad about your way of working." And I said that I was very pessimistic. And almost an year later, that is one thing that still hasn't changed. Three words that define my creative artworks would have to be adaptable because I always make sure that I leave space for changes as per needed. Then it's fun and unique. And finally, it's methodical and calculated. So while writing this list, I was reminded that back during FVL1, I made a few artworks following which Kishore sir commented saying that your thinking is quite mathematical. And at that time, I remember thinking that it can't be true. Like, I was horrible at math, I barely used to pass. Like, how is my thinking mathematical? However, 7 months later, I now understand that when he made that comment, he was not talking about my arithmetic abilities, but rather my thinking pattern, which makes sense considering that 4 out of the 7 steps in my creative process were related to organizing. So, yeah, that's all on my behalf.